You're welcome to my YouTube channel. I urge you to make it your preferable channel for your online education. In this important session, I will focus on conflict management. And to help me discuss this important concept with you, we are going to use a sample question. And our sample question has two components. The first component considers stating 5 common causes of conflict. Secondly, explaining the 5 conflict resolution methods that you would probably consider to use. What are the 5 common causes of conflicts in an organization? Firstly, we would consider differences over goals and priorities. Secondly, personalities, lack of leadership, lack of resources, labor management and supervisor, employee tensions heightened by power differences, external source. I would spend some time on each one of them, starting with the first one. The first one says differences over goals and priorities. This could be priorities by subordinates in such an organization. When the interests of a subordinate or an individual in an organization become so superior to the overall goals and priorities of an organization, that becomes a problem. Secondly, we have different personalities. No one person is comparable to the other. And because of that, this on its own becomes a source of conflict. Lack of leadership. Leadership is described as the art of leading other individuals in an organization towards attainment of a common goal. Now, if this organization lacks leadership, then probably we might just see conflict arising. Then apart from that, lack of resources. In an environment where there are scarce resources or few resources, different departments would want to use the same few resources, and in the end, this becomes a source of conflict. Then labor and management and probably the supervisor may just be a major source of conflict if their strategies or their policies does not conform to how this organization should be led. Employee tensions, this can be, of course, be increased by power differences. External sources, these are sources that are outside an organization. Then, apart from this, then what could be conflict resolution methods that we can use? There are basically 5 methods that can be used in order to reduce tensions. Number 1, we have a method known as accommodating. And of course, this is also termed to be friendly helper. We have collaborating, we have competition or being competitive. We have another method which is avoiding, and we also have a method that is on the center of everything, that is compromising. Now, one thing that we should also take note is that these methods may, of course, not be weighed on a scale and to determine which one is better than the other one. It's also very important to take note that the first one, which is avoidance, it can also be known as withdrawing. And this is a lose-lose situation. So avoiding is actually a conflict resolution method in which all parties that are involved take a lose-lose situation. From the projection, this refers to avoiding the conflict so that it cannot be resolved. All right? How appropriate can we use avoidance when facing an important issues, smaller issues that does not matter? And apart from that, we should also know that when there is no chance to obtain what one wants or needs, or when others could resolve the conflict more efficiently and effectively, then avoidance can be used. When people need to cool down, distance themselves, or gather more information, perhaps gaining an insight or meaningful view of the conflict, then avoidance can be used. The second method is competition. And this is a win-lose situation. Now, competition is a conflict resolution style characteristic of individuals who are highly assertive about pursuing their own goals, but they are very uncooperative in assisting others to reach their goals. So we are seeing competition coming in. The question is, when does one apply competition? When quick, decisive action is necessary, when important and popular action needs to be taken, when an individual or group is right about issues that are vital to group welfare, then competition can be used as a method to resolve conflicts. The third type of method that can be used is accommodation, and accommodation is lose-win situation. Now, accommodation is a conflict resolution style that is unassertive, but it is cooperative, and an accommodating individual attends very closely to the needs of others and ignores her or his own needs. Now, using this style, individuals confront problems by deferring to others. How appropriate can one use accommodation? Usually, when other people's ideas and solutions appear to be better, or when you have made a mistake, people would tend to use accommodation. When you see that accommodating now builds up some important credits for later use, this method can be employed. The fourth method that can be used to avoid or resolve conflict is compromise. Compromise can also be termed as negotiation, and this is termed as a win-some, lose-some situation. Now, compromise occurs midway between avoidance and collaboration. This means that persons using this approach do not completely ignore confrontations, but neither do they struggle with problems to the fullest degree. Okay, how do we use appropriately this method known as compromise? Usually, it is used when two powerful sides are committed strongly to perceive mutually exclusive goals. Apart from that, when temporary solutions to complex issues need to be implemented, then when time pressures people to expedite a workable solution. It can also be used when collaboration and competing or competition as methods of conflict resolution fail. Now, the last one, which should be the conclusion of this presentation, is collaboration. This is a method for resolving conflicts, which is termed as win-win situation. Collaboration, the most preferred of all the conflict styles, requires both assertiveness and cooperation. It involves attending fully to others' concerns while not sacrificing or suppressing one's own concerns. Although collaboration is the most preferred style, it is the hardest to achieve. This may just bring us to one conclusion. Each and every method for conflict resolution has demerits and merits. Okay, being the last method for resolution to conflicts, collaboration can also be used appropriately when seeking creative, integrative solutions where both sides of this has to do with parties goals and needs are very important, and thus developing group commitment and consensual decision, then we will have collaboration being used. And because of this, we'll end here. And thank you for listening to this session, which considered conflict resolution methods. Apart from that, it also considered factors or elements that can lead to conflict arising. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and hopingly that you would share and again invite even others to listen to this important session.